C-Facts, the evil genius.
Yes, people, hope you're all blessed. C-Facts, aka the evil genius here, making boom bap once again. So yeah, I tend to do a lot of my crate digging in charity shops as much as I do in just kind of old record shops. And so I picked up this one, Jack Jones Harbour, for the grand sum of £1. I don't know if you can see there. £1, probably can't. So big up Mike McDonald and Michael R. Martian on the keyboard, because the tune I've put together today is all around the keys. And yeah, arranged and produced by Rick Jarrard. Thanks to Mike McDonald for helping with the arrangements. Thank you guys, because you're giving me a nice little bit of material to work with. So let's check out what I actually sampled, shall we? Okay, so I sampled my vinyl into the MPC. I've done a load of chops already. It was quite an easy one to put together and to chop up this one. So yeah, let's see what I've got. That's the one I'm liking. That's the note. There's always that note. Alright, so it's time to make the beat. So I've layered up all my kicks, I've layered my snares, my hats, as I always do. I've showed how I do that in a previous video. So these are the sounds I'm working with. I've got my ghost kick, I've got my real kick, so we get that nice little ba-dum. Got my snare, and I've got my hats. A nice kind of like reverby bell type hat, proper synonymous with like classic old school boom bap. So I've programmed in my beat, I've made a few little changes, crispened it up, tightened it up here and there. So this is what it's saying. Yeah, so I laid the beat, now it's time to put the melody on top. let's have a look at my plugin chain to see how I gave it some flavour. Alright, so I've got it running through the MPC onto its own channel in Ableton. I've got a few sends on it. There's my reverb, my delay. I've got a bit of parallel compression on there as well. And here's my chain. So quite a few things going on here. So I start with my Soothe. I'm pulling down some frequencies around the 1K, making sure we don't have too much mud. A little bit of the top end there. Then I've got one of my favourite plugins called Track Spacer. Kind of does what it says on the tin. It really allows you to get more space into your track. It's kind of like a sidechain tool where you can duck sounds underneath another sound. So it's like a ducking tool if you're familiar with ducking tools. So basically what I've got here is just taking off some of the low end. I've got it sidechained to the kick, and I've got it so anything below 125 Hertz will duck underneath the kick. Then I've got my Fabfilter Pro Q3, my favourite EQ. So what I'm doing here, I'm boosting some of the highs. I've got a bit of the highs. The S is the side, so I'm boosting some of the sides. So you've got a feeling of like you got a feeling of loudness, but it's not actually kind of getting in the way of some of the prominent parts to it. So for example, it's not getting in the way of your snare drum. It's not getting in the way of your beat in general. And then what I'm doing here, I'm pulling down the mids in a couple of spots, which allows me to help the snare come through. So if we play it, the red line shows the snare hit, like basically the frequency of the snare, and you can see where it's hitting. I've pulled down the mids so that I get a little bit more oomph in the snare. Again, giving it a bit more space. That's a big part of the mixing, is really kind of giving it some space. I've got a low cut at 48 mark. Got a high cut, take away some of that hiss. I really like the lo-fi kind of sound anyway, so I'm more than happy to get rid of a lot of highs. Then I've got another EQ, the pull text. The pull texts are great for kind of tone, and again, it's like that flavour for me. Anyone who's familiar with mixing would have heard the Pultec name. It's one of the kind of biggest, one of the most famous EQs out there. So really, what I've got here is a nice little boost, quite a broad Q, boosting a fair amount around the 10,000 mark. So quite high up. Giving the piano kind of a bit of presence, and where I've taken down some of the highs, this allows me to kind of put back some of the nice frequencies in. I've got another Pultec running, and then a lot of you guys who do lo-fi, for example, or will probably know the RC20. It's kind of another one of those kind of industry standards. Most lo-fi producers will probably use this in some capacity. So I've gone for a VHS setting, kind of give it again that old school vibe. I've got a little bit of wobble going on, a little bit of distortion, this magnetic flavour. Again, we've got some cuts going on to kind of really like get rid of the highs and the lows. So, and that's where we're getting that kind of old school classic VHS type sound. Then I've got my favourite tape, the Softube Tape. I've set it to one of the piano presets, and then just played around with it a little bit here. So we're taking down some of the highs. We've got it on type B, which is the tape speed, kind of determines the tape speed and the amount of distortion that you get. So yeah, and all in all, it gives me Right, so the beat's laid, the melody's laid, but you know it ain't boom bap without some good bass. What I've done is 16 levels. So this time we got the tone, not the velocity. So I've got. Tweaking, and here's the bass incorporated into the rest of the tune. Peace out, people. Like and subscribe. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the love so far. See you soon. Peace.
C-Facts, the evil genius.